what was interesting at that is not only just the Asian financial crisis, but when you start looking at the whole series of challenges to the financial system and the development as it has in the way that we understand it, it's that we never actually really experience a protracted period of stability. Every 7 years there's a massive crisis underway. In fact, I tend to think of it as like it's a system in disequilibrium, and sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. The financial system is always in trouble of one form or another, and so it's just a really fascinating thing. It got me started to look at what drives that sort of behaviour and what are the best ways to structure policy around it. But to really understand that, I want to go to a quote from Thomas Hobbes. And to understand what drives human behaviour, you can't appreciate it by understanding the world that we live in right now. Thomas Hobbes, he was a medieval philosopher who wrote that life was nasty, brutish and short. He lived at the period when the UK, as we know it now, was going through a violent civil war. And so for him, and Europe itself was being racked by constant wars. So for him, the worst thing in the world was uncertainty. And he wrote a philosophical treatise called the Leviathan, where he recommended that one person be given the vote, and everyone, that person should be, in charge of everything. Now, I don't agree with that. But what was interesting is how he speculated about the nature of the world prior to the development of social institutions. And he described it as nasty, brutal and short. Interestingly enough, humanity has been estimated to be around for around 100 to 200,000 years. They don't really know. But they do know that about 60 to 70,000 years, humanity went through a choke point. There is more difference in DNA between one tribe of chimpanzees than there is in the 6 billion odd humans in the world. So you and I are more closely related than two chimpanzees who might be from the same tribe. The reason being that at one point the human species got down to just 2,000 people, and that was around 50 to 60,000 years ago. But at that time, you and I are descended from all their faults and follables. Everything that we've created is a result of those few individuals who existed at that point in time. What's interesting is that almost 50% of students, when asked this question at an Ivy League university in the US, would get it wrong. Your brain gives you an immediate response where the two break down. And that immediate response feels natural, feels easy, and I'm seeing a few guilty faces, so I presume some people experience that. But that feels natural, feels easy, and most people don't monitor what their primal brain is telling them about their environment. This is a fundamental feature that we as humans have. It operates almost consistently. We vastly underestimate the impact it has. It's constantly going. The simplest word in the English language is I. The most complex word from a neurological perspective is I. It doesn't actually exist.